So, what if I told you the real key to high performance isn't about working harder? What if it's actually about winning this internal battle most of us don't even realize we're fighting every single day? Today, we're going to dig into the true foundation of success. And, spoiler alert, it starts right here, inside.
Okay, let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? You're just constantly tired. You feel distracted, like your brain is pulled in a million directions. And that motivation you used to have, it's just gone. Your energy is flat. It's this quiet struggle, right? And it seems to creep into all of our lives as we get older.
And you know what we do? We tell ourselves a story. We say, well, I guess this is just part of being an adult, right? We blame it on age, on stress, on all our responsibilities. We just accept this feeling as the new normal.
But here's the thing. What if that's a complete trap? What if what we're calling normal isn't normal at all? What if it's actually a slow decline? A really gradual erosion of our energy, our focus, and our potential.
And that right there is what we can call the normalcy trap. See, because the decline is so gradual, we don't even notice it's happening. It's like the whole frog in boiling water thing. We just blame the symptoms on something else. Oh, it was a tough week, or I'm just getting older. And all the while, the real root cause just flies right under the radar.
So, what does this slow decline actually look like? Well, it's that fire you used to have. That ambition, it's kind of turned into just a flicker. It's knowing exactly what you should be doing, but you just can't get yourself to do it. That's your discipline getting weaker. And that drive, it's just faded quietly into the background.
Okay, so this brings us to a really, really big idea. A fundamental shift in how we need to think about performance. We've got to reframe our entire mindset and get away from this cultural obsession with just grinding harder.
So on one side, you've got the myth we're all sold, that performance is just about brute force, grinding it out, working longer hours than everyone else. But the reality? Oh, it's so much deeper. Real, sustainable high performance, it begins with the condition of the person who's making the decisions. It starts with you, your physical and your mental state.
I want you to think about these as like the absolute pillars of your own performance engine. Your ability to get things done isn't some abstract concept. Nope. It is directly tied to the fundamentals. What you eat, what you drink, how you sleep, how you deal with stress, even what you let into your mind. These things aren't separate from your work. They are the work that makes all the other work possible.
And it's simple, right? When that foundation is weak, when you've got cracks in it, everything you try to build on top of it just starts to crumble. Your decision-making gets fuzzy. Your focus shattered. Motivation just evaporates. And that courage you need to take big, meaningful risks, it just vanishes.
Okay, this brings us to the real heart of the matter. The core internal conflict that's driving so much of what we do every single day. It's this constant battle between making a conscious choice that helps you grow and looking for an escape from feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah, let that one sink in for a minute. So many of the things we do every day are habits. They're not actually driven by a search for real joy. They're driven by a need to escape. We're not choosing a reward. We're subconsciously just running away from something that feels hard or stressful.
And these are some of the usual suspects, right? Alcohol, junk food, mindlessly scrolling social media, binging show after show. Look, none of these things are inherently evil. The danger zone is when they stop being a conscious choice and they become a dependency. It's that thing you turn to automatically to just numb out. And suddenly, your impulses are in the driver's seat, not you.
This right here, this might be one of the most powerful questions you can ever ask yourself about any of your habits. Seriously, it's the ultimate gut check to figure out who's actually in control. Just pause and ask, am I choosing this or is this choosing for me?
So if that's the battle, how do you fight back? How do you actually win? Well, the path to taking back control is paved with two absolutely essential tools: self-awareness and discipline.
And let's be clear, self-awareness isn't some fluffy, abstract concept. Think of it as a diagnostic tool. It's the active power to look at one of your habits and see it for what it's really become. It's about recognizing when that little thing you chose to do once in a while is now quietly starting to run your life.
But awareness is only half the battle. Once you see the problem, you need discipline to fix it. See, our brains are literally hardwired to take the easy way out, to seek comfort. Discipline is the muscle you build, and you do have to build it, to override that instinct.
It's the strength to choose long-term growth over that instant, short-term pleasure. And it's so important to get how this stuff works over time. It's not one big decision. It's a chain reaction. It starts with one tiny little action, but you repeat that action every single day. That turns into a routine, and that routine, over time, slowly shapes your entire lifestyle. And guess what? That lifestyle is what ends up shaping your energy, your mindset, and the results you get in life.
So here's a super practical way to build that awareness muscle. Before you reach for that snack or open that app, just pause and ask yourself this. Am I doing this because it actually improves my life, or am I just doing it because I don't want to deal with something that feels uncomfortable right now? Being brutally honest with yourself right in that moment, it's a game changer.
All right, so this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the absolute core of winning this whole battle. It all comes down to taking total, radical responsibility for the person you're becoming. Because this fight, it is, and it always will be, an internal one.
This is really the ultimate truth when it comes to high performance. Forget about your colleagues or some rival company. Your biggest competition isn't out there. It's right here. It's your own impulses, your own distractions, and that deep, powerful human tendency to always seek the comfortable option.
So, I'm going to leave you with 3 questions to really think about. First one is simple. What habits are you willing to take control of? Not tomorrow, not next week, starting right now.
Number 2, remember, growth isn't just about adding good habits, it's also about subtracting the bad ones. So what distractions are you willing to completely eliminate from your life to make room for what you say actually matters to you?
And last, probably the most important and most challenging question of all, we know that real growth never happens in the comfort zone. So, what discomfort are you willing to lean into to actually face in order to become the person you really want to be?
Because really, in the end, it all boils down to this one simple, powerful idea. Real, meaningful change, it only starts the moment you decide to take ownership. The power is, and always has been, yours. So take responsibility for who you are becoming.